Yes, I am filming this diagonally, if you will, not sideways or anything, but more diagonally. But I wanted to come on here and just kind of give my further thoughts on, not AEW, but Warner Bros. Discovery not allowing Tony Khan to put a tribute show on last night for Jay Briscoe, which they did do, but they did it after Dynamite and Rampage. They actually filmed it afterwards, and apparently it's going to air sometime later. We're not really sure. They'll probably make some announcement, we just don't know when, but it's supposed to air somewhat later on Honor Club and Ring of Honor's YouTube channel for free. So for those that were worried about having to go through a paywall to watch the tribute, you don't have to worry about that. It'll be free for everybody. But yeah, this, like I said earlier, and everybody's agreed, this is basically a massive L for Warner Bros. Discovery. And, it really doesn't put them in a good light. Now, some people could say that they could put most of the blame on David Zaslav because they might believe he made the call and everything for them to, not allow the tribute to take place. But then again, people could also say, well, you could also put the blame on whoever he put in charge. Like, yeah, he does share the blame because he's the one responsible for putting whoever it was that he put in charge as the one that made the call. And that internally, from what I last understand or last read and heard, was Kathleen Finch. And we don't know if Kathleen Finch, is a member, if you will, or a supporter, an advocate for the whole woke culture, cancel culture, SJW movements. We don't know if she's part of that, because if she is, then yeah, that influence may have played a part in the tribute not happening. I mean, again, the situation is, yeah, he made some, easy for me to say, homophobic words. Slurs. Yeah, he did do some homophobic slurs. He basically, threatened anybody that tried to teach his kids, that it was okay to be LGBTQ. But then after, I guess, realizing his mistake and kind of, acknowledging that, yeah, maybe it's not as bad as a lot of people perceive it to be, that, he took back what he said. He apologized for it, and along with his brother, did what he could to rectify his mistake. Now the thing is, should WBD should have Warner Bros. Discovery taken that into consideration and been like, okay, we can allow it and everything. Should they have done that? Yes. Should they have taken that into consideration? Yes. Because right now they're coming under fire for two things that they're allowing to happen. One, they're allowing Dana White's Power Slap show to continue even after he publicly slapped his wife in public, even though she, as people would point out, and even he kind of pointed out, she instigated it, but he's the one that not only not only returned the favor towards her, but did it multiple times, as a matter of fact, and it was all caught on film. His show's still being allowed to, follow AEW Dynamite. And then on top of that, you have the whole Ezra Miller situation, and how he's basically being let off, as some people would put it, like, with like a slap on the wrist and everything, after, I guess, pleading guilty to some things. And this is all, and these decisions to allow, Ezra Miller to be still promoted in the Flash and Dana White to still have a show, it's all come under fire, not just, recently in the past few months, but, or even the past few weeks when it comes to Dana White, but it's also mainly come out of under fire in a big way now, because it's like, well, wait a minute, this is a double standard. This is a hypocritical double standard you guys are doing. It's like you're allowing someone that publicly slapped his wife in the face, more times than she did him, and it was all caught on camera, to continue to have his show. And on top of that, you're allowing someone, a nutcase, if you will, in Ezra Miller to, still be promoted as, the main star of The Flash and everything, your Flash movie, and all you're doing is basically giving him a slap on the wrist. What sense does that make? Where's the justice in that kind of deal? And basically it's caused Warner Bros.Discovery to really, be caught in a situation that, well, basically, people will look down upon them on, and really put a lot of the blame on David Zaslav for not being a real leader and taking action and listening to the people and being like, oh, okay, maybe these decisions are not the best decisions to make right now due to the current circumstances. But that's not happening. That's not happening. Instead, the Power Slap show and the Flash movie, are still going to go forward as planned. And, instead of being like, okay, if we can let that go, we should be able to just, put our differences, put our pride aside when it comes to, what Jay Briscoe said over a decade ago, which he's already made up for. We should be able to let that, be, water under the bridge and allow the tribute to be aired, but they didn't. And a lot of people feel that that's very hypocritical of WB and its WBD and its executives, especially the ones in charge of the networks. Like, from what we understand, Kathleen Finch could be the one that made the call. And by her making the call, yeah, a lot of the blame goes on her, but David Zaslav also shares the blame. And what this also does, in my opinion, even though not a lot of people have come out and said it, what this really does actually is it puts that worry, again, even though they haven't said it yet, I'm sure they might point it out in some ways, but it puts that worry back into the eyes of fans that maybe, even though the WBD can come out and say, oh yeah, we got a great relationship with AEW, we love what they do, we love what they're doing, we love the ratings they're bringing in, what's going on with what's happening here, happening here, it sounds like to a lot of people, it may seem like, I should say more correctly, that maybe wrestling doesn't really have a future on the Turner networks anymore. I'm not saying that's entirely true, but you would think, again, they would put their differences aside because, this guy, he tragically passed. It was nothing, it was out of his control, basically. His daughters got injured, put in the hospital. One had to get back surgery to potentially avoid paralysis, if you will. And yet they don't want to, and yet these executives don't want to look at that and say, okay, we're gonna basically, we're basically gonna overlook those homophobic slurs and stuff that he said over a decade ago, and we're gonna let the tribute go on. They're not looking at the fact that two kids got injured, one that had to get back surgery to maybe, to allow her to try to walk again. It's like these people, it's like they just don't understand that this has nothing to do with what he said a decade ago, which he has made up for. He's made amends for. This is honoring somebody who was a great in-ring competitor, a great performer, and a great father figure. A great human being that, yes, like a lot of us, makes mistakes with what they do and say, but makes amends for them when they can. So, so to me, this is a massive big, I do agree, it's a massive, huge deduction for the WBD. And again, like I said, what it does for a lot of fans is it puts that fear in their minds, or that doubt in their minds, that despite what Warner Bros. Discovery may say of, oh, we love what AEW is doing, that maybe wrestling doesn't really have a future, on those networks for much longer. And all WBD is doing by saying, oh, we love what AEW is doing, is just saying that to make themselves look good, when in reality they may not even give a damn about wrestling, like AOL didn't give a damn about WCW over 20 years ago. So we don't know. We don't know. So we don't know exactly, why they wouldn't just oversee what he said, and it said and did over a decade ago, and allow this to happen. We don't know if maybe it's because those tweets still roam the internet and everything, and it's caught their eye, or maybe they just don't like wrestling in general, and they're just, like I said, saying what they have to make themselves look good until the TV rights deals come up, and then it gets revealed, oh yeah, by the way, Tony Khan, truth is, we never liked your wrestling show. In fact, we never were fans of wrestling and everything, so we're gonna let you go. Could that be what's really going on? We don't know. Because if they did support AEW, they did support Tony Khan, they would have allowed it to happen. But they didn't. They didn't. And again, it is a massive L. It is a massive L, and it shows visually, especially in these recent times, with everything going on from what Dana White did with the slapping of his wife and stuff, and the Ezra Miller stuff. It shows that if they're allowing that to be, got away with, then what's wrong with, doing the tribute show? It's a hypocritical double standard on their part, and I guarantee you, it's gonna make the rounds. It's gonna hit the media in a big way, to where I think eventually, if it, you get enough momentum, it's gonna make WB look bad, and they're gonna have to retract what they've done and say, hey, you know what, Tony Khan, that tribute show you were putting on for Jay Briscoe, we've decided we want to put it on the air for you. It might get to that if this gets enough media attention of the hypocrisy double standards, or hypocritical double standards, that this company is showing right now. But guys, I just wanted to talk about that. Again, I do agree it's a massive L, massive L, for them, and it makes them look bad, especially in light of all these other things that have happened under their name and watch. So let me know what your thoughts are, guys. I got to get into work. It's been 1 year now today since I began here. But let me know what your thoughts are. And until next time, I am out.